Hey everybody, welcome back to the K2N Online Paddle School. We are back here on YouTube, and this week we have another episode of the K2N vlog. Saturday, I did a clinic in Orlando for a small group. Sunday, we did a clinic here in Hernando with about 7 paddlers, so being able to teach on Saturday and Sunday is really a blessing. If you have a group in Florida and you would like me to come down and coach you guys, feel free to reach out anytime and I can help schedule that. It seems to be easy to get people to come to me individually, but if you and your group can organize people and want me to come to you to make it more convenient, I am more than open to traveling to you. I love coaching around Florida. Again, it boosts all of our skill levels. The better that we all get collectively, the better our region is, and I want to have a hand in that process. So this week's talking point kind of stems from some of the talking points from this weekend specifically. And one of the things that it boils down to is when being coached in an organization, it is an important distinction that the person that you're getting coached from races individual paddlecraft. And this is a very specific series of concepts that we're putting together, not just paddle a craft, but we are wanting them to go out and race in these crafts. Team boats are the least likely to make advancements in technique or movement ideology. The more participants in a craft, the less likely you are going to see this personal growth within an organization. And it's just that way by design. When we have dragon boats with 20, 10 people, even OC6s, when you get into a team boat, you must paddle just like everybody else around you. So you don't have an opportunity to try something different at a dragon boat practice because you must adhere to what everybody is doing around you. You're getting repetitions of doing things the way that they were done before. Introducing new ideas in this element is incredibly hard. Finding the metrics of success and that we're going faster and doing things better, there are too many moving targets, too many variables to accurately make sure that you are seeing this progress. Comparatively to an individual boat, you make one small adjustment and you can see an instant result because you're the only thing moving the craft. Introduce 20 more variables and the front half of the boat is going down in efficiency by 2% and the back of the boat's going up in efficiency by 2%. You can see how this can become incredibly convoluted in introducing new ideas. So what happens is new ideas don't get introduced, right? Paddlers will end up being in this stasis for an extended amount of time. So this is important for your individual progress, but even more so as a platform. If you are coaching a group, your ability to translate your skill level and your knowledge to a group of people, the more adept and refined that you can be, the more refined your group can be. Individual racing, right? So when you're in a boat, you are paddling it for yourself, right? We're able to identify your skill level. The refinement of everything you know about paddling comes down to a metric, how fast you are. And ideally, when you're choosing races, you are pitting yourself against paddlers that are at a very high level. The whole point of this is to match up against them and figure out what your technique gets you in a racing scene, right? When you race and you go head to head with somebody, if they beat you, you have a ton of information that you can potentially use. Even that scenario, there are things that we introduce that I like to call noise. I lost this person because of this factor. They have a better boat than me. They are even paddling longer than me. They're younger than me. There's all these things that we go in that become excuses, and it's noise. And the reason that it's noise is because you don't get anything out of it to make you better. When I race, I try to be as objective as possible. If somebody defeats me, I want to know exactly what they're doing, because if I can extrapolate any of that movement for myself, I can have the advantage over time. This is the only reason that my racing skill has reached where it is, right? When I first started paddling, I was absolutely terrible. And my ability to progress is just trying to take as much information as I can. They do this with the front of their stroke that I'm not doing. They're doing this with the middle and the back of the stroke. Their fluidity with their body, the pathing of their top hand. There are so many ideas that I have had to absorb over time. And so as a coach, this helps me. I'm able to take in this information and teach the first student myself. Then I try to take these ideas, rephrase them, explain them, and break them down the best that I can to teach to the next person, right? This series of information now flows through my entire organization using me as a platform. This doesn't mean that you have to be a super high skill level racer necessarily. You just have to identify what are the differences between your performances and other people's performances that are faster than you. Just by identifying that, now you have a pathway to take a new idea and give it to somebody else to make them better. So if you don't race individually and go head to head with really talented racers, you have none of this pathway, right? You may be disillusioned to think that your skill level is beyond what it actually is when pitted against other savvy racers. And if you have no checks and balances to think that, hey, I'm already so good and I'm already God's gift to paddling, there's nothing I need to learn and improve on, now your organization suffers from this same ideology. And as other groups start to advance, right, they are going to start passing you. And this is an end result that doesn't have to happen. And I totally get it, because racing is a pretty tough prospect, right? Because you're going to go out there, depending on what event that you choose, you are going to go out there and meet your match. And it makes you feel terrible if you've put all this time and effort into something and you just get absolutely whipped. You can't look at it in a negative light, right? You have to find the positive. The positive is you have an opportunity to take as much information as you want, right? And then you can do all kinds of good things with it. If you do not put yourself in these scenarios, you have no pathway or window to peek into on what is the most advanced movement that we have currently. And so when I teach these clinics, there's a lot of conversation about obsolete movement patterns, right? And it becomes frustrating as a coach because I have never seen people doing the things described in an individual format and finding any level of success, right? But because people don't put themselves into this arena for this checks and balances, they don't come to the same conclusion that I do almost instantaneously. Or I have seen people do the thing that you're describing, but I don't get to watch them that long because they're so far in the back, right? And using this information to our advantage, we know that that is not a movement pattern I want if that's the end result back there. Turning your head to the front and you're seeing a paddler here, what are they doing? How can I mirror this? What can I get from this to put myself next to them or ahead of them? Take that ideology and plug it into a 2-person boat, a 4-person boat, 6, 10, 20. All of a sudden you have an incredibly optimized racing team. But if you have no pathway to make the one person more optimized or understand what makes them a better paddler, when you introduce 2 or 4 or 6 or 10 or 20, you haven't solved the root issue, and now the whole boat doesn't have an opportunity to go much faster. This is something to keep in mind even as an individual, right? When you go out to races, it's not just about doing it, it is about absorbing the information around you, right? This is your only opportunity potentially to race with other paddlers that are very fast. Learn something from watching them. And if you are a coach, that information is not just for yourself, it is for your group and making them the best versions that you can. Where does the top hand start? How does it go through the stroke? When does my elbow extend? How do I use my hips and my shoulders? What are the person's legs doing? What is the positive blade angle? When does the blade exit? What is the strokes per minute? How long is their paddle? How big is their paddle? Every single movement that we have is something that we can optimize. And as a coach, especially, if you can optimize it, everybody in your area gets better. And again, it makes paddling as a whole collective much better. Thank you guys so much for checking out the video. We have some random paddling footage from the week here, and hopefully you guys enjoy that. If there's anything you'd like to see discussed here or any footage you'd like to see specifically, feel free to reach out anytime, leave a comment, send an email. Don't forget to browse through the K2NOnlinePaddleSchool.com. We have all kinds of cool stuff going on the website. Thank you all again for the support, and we'll see you all next week for the next episode of the K2N Vlog. All right, everybody, welcome back to Lake Hernando. This is from Thursday morning paddling the OC2, and seat 1 with me is Vern, who is on our team. He is 84 years old, so cumulatively our age together is over 110, so that puts us in the senior category when we paddle together. So we're doing 2 loops out here, which is 3 miles all total. I'm steering and paddling, following along with him. We got Dave in the OC1. We got a couple ladies in the OC2 following us along here. And we are racing. I'm trying to regulate some of the speed, make it more interesting for everybody if we're all relatively close to each other. And this is coming into the finish here. Vern doing his best to pull me along and make sure that we finish ahead here. And Dave on the other side giving it a good push towards the finish line here. So this is a typical practice for us, going out, putting the boats head to head, getting near each other. And that's par for the course. So this is on, I believe, Thursday, and we're going out. Yes, this is Thursday morning practice. And we got 2 OC2s, and getting a little close. Ray is steering the OC2 in the middle there. He goes to the left, bumps into us, and navigating the top turn here. And we get into a little chaos here. The OC6 turns on a much tighter turn radius than the OC2 does with the small rudder, and getting some reps in of not being able to paddle on the left side and switching to the right. This pushes us both to the side, and my wife is in the other C2. She takes the inside line. We're able to sneak ahead on this lap, and then the GoPro dies, right? So that's Thursday morning practice. And then this was last night, Monday morning. I'm filming this on Tuesday. Doing a little sprint at the end here. We have 2 new paddlers in seat 4 and 5, and we're racing my wife and Kathy in the other boat. They just kicked our butts on the 3-mile course, and this is just a little quarter-mile paddle, and we're able to try and stay relevant, stay near them as we go along. They give it a really good push. We're paddling here. Like I said, this is only about a quarter mile. And the OC6 pulls ahead a little bit, and I'm able to regulate the speed, see if they have one last surge to catch up to the front. And that's Monday night practice. And this is on Saturday. This is when I was in Orlando. My wife actually edited this. And looking at it now, I didn't realize that it's in 6x19 formatting here, so vertical. And she's steering, and Ray is steering the other OC6. I believe we had 12 people for practice, so both boats are filled while I was out of town. The ladies boat here with Christina steering. This is the fastest a full ladies crew has ever gone on Lake Hernando. They average a little faster than 6.4 miles per hour in the spec canoe, which is pretty fast over a 7.25 mile loop. And especially for us, we don't have access to unlimited canoes, so hitting some of these higher end speeds can be a bit tricky. So 6.4 for them, definitely, it's a lifetime best for the club. So seeing everybody progress and get better over time, you know, this is where the pieces come together, the individuals getting better, going into the team boat. That makes the big difference in the long term. Awesome, thank you guys so much for checking out the video. If you have any topics you want to see discussed or any video footage you'd like to see us make, feel free to leave a comment below. Thank you guys so much again for watching, and we will see you all next week for the next K2N vlog episode.